Is your need for validation and approval from others sabotaging your success, stopping you from making better choices and to live a more fulfilling life? What do you think? Is that a question that you ask others a little bit too often? In this video, I'll share with you how to stop seeking validation and approval from others and embrace your own power. I'll explore what studies say about why we look to others for validation. When is it useful? And at what point does it actually become a hindrance to you being the best version of yourself? I'll give you 7 tips on how to stop seeking validation altogether and to truly become self-reliant. Some of those tips are things that no one is talking about. I'm Smita. Welcome to the Self-Discovery channel. On this channel, we bring you inspiration, insights, and tools to forward your journey of self-discovery into freedom and thriving, being the best you. So, here's the dilemma when it comes to approval seeking. Human beings are social creatures, and for that reason and that reason alone, it's natural to want to have other people to approve our desires, opinions, beliefs, choices, and actions. And we seek validation from others without even realizing it, such as via conversation or in groups. We can even get addicted to validation in our social media posts and engagements. The downside is that anxiety and depression kick in when you either don't get enough validation from others or when you're anxiously and addictively waiting to receive it. Not only does it strip you of your own power to make decisions, but it also adds unnecessary stress in life. But why do we feel this way? There could be several reasons, and here are just a few based on psychological research. The results of a 2016 study conducted by the Anglia-Ruskin University in Cambridge suggest that children's accurate attention to their own emotional state, that is their own emotional awareness, may be shaped by their mother's use of emotional validation or invalidation.
I think you'll find my work pretty interesting. I'm attempting to replicate the dark matter signal found in sodium iodide crystals by the Italians.
So no original research?
No.
When children don't feel valued, they may struggle to regulate their emotions. Other symptoms that can occur include difficulty in trusting others, high levels of anxiety, and a fear of rejection. Another study in 2018 was published in a peer-reviewed journal, BMC Biomed Central. This study found that emotionally invalidating childhood environments could give rise to mental health conditions such as a borderline personality disorder. On the other hand, a 2015 study suggests that narcissistic traits such as entitlement and the need for validation in adulthood may be the result of children who are overpraised and frequently told that they're special. So, what is the destructive impact of seeking external validation? Whether it's because of a narcissistic parent's influence or something else, one of the main things that it comes down to is this: a fragile self-esteem.
You look a little down, and it may seem like sometimes people don't understand you. But someday, man, someday, people are gonna see you for what you really are.
You really think so?
Absolutely. You are great.
See, when our self-esteem is fragile, we overly rely on others to reflect our worthiness back to us. What this means is that we don't believe in our own power. Actually, we don't trust our own power to make the right choices. So we overly rely on our community, friends and family for their point of view. And as such, this ought not to be a problem. After all, our communities are there to lift us up. When you're constantly seeking approval from other people, one impact is that you're only paving the way for more anxiety and depression. It becomes a problem when it fuels the feelings of worthlessness that had you look for approval in the first place. Sue Johnson, in her book Hold Me Tight, says conflict with and hostile criticism from loved ones increase our self-doubt and creates a sense of helplessness, which are the classic triggers for depression. So, at what point does looking to your friend or partner for casual agreement about something insignificant become a codependent need for permission to choose something for ourselves? This happens when we start seeking validation from others for most of our decisions, that it becomes a slippery slope. This is when it becomes a self-perpetuating, disempowering vicious cycle. As Chanakya, the great Indian economist philosopher of the 3rd century BC India, said in his political treatise called Arthashastra, one who can't determine his goals cannot win. It's also important to be aware that advice is rarely neutral. Other people's opinions are colored by their own experiences. So making choices based on other people's opinions also means that you might be taking on what's right for them based on their experiences, preferences, belief systems, and so on.
Here's what's going to happen. I am going to have to fix you, manage you to on a more personal scale. A more micro form of management. Jim, what is that called?
Microagement?
Boom, yes.
When you do this, you're stripping yourself of your own self-discovery journey and choosing to live what is perhaps someone else's life. The bigger impact of looking to be overly affirmed by others is that you're giving your power to other people at the cost of drowning out the voice of your inner being, your higher self within. When you cannot connect to your inner guru, the wise, conscious part of you, is generally hard to trust your decisions. Making choices is a challenge. This is because you're disconnected from your inner guidance system, your own GPS, which is broadcasting to you at all times what to choose, where your greatest growth lies, which direction to meet your deepest joy, who would make the right partner for you, and so on and so on. When we're unable to trust our own inner voice, we are effectively giving permission to external forces to make our sacred life choices for us, no matter how benevolent those others may be. We grant others the permission to hold the reins of not just our own self-worth, but our own potential, what's possible for us in life. So when it comes down to living life fulfilled, relying on affirmation outside of your own self comes at an extortionate price. So how do we break the cycle? When it comes to breaking the vicious cycle, self-awareness and observation are power. First, nourish your sense of self. Think about ways in which you might have been ignored or invalidated as a child. As an adult, how can you nurture yourself more effectively? This will include learning new ways that resonate with you as an adult, to regularly celebrate your wins, big or small, like least. 2. Learn to set clear boundaries. Set clear boundaries of what is acceptable, what is negotiable, and what is simply unacceptable. And then be prepared to either deal with or accept consequences that will inevitably follow. 3. Say no to people-pleasing and seeking validation. People-pleasing and seeking external validation is a lifelong habit, and so one that is hard to break, especially when you have fear of abandonment and painful memories of rejection. If you go headlong into a particular practice, it may bring up some deep fear and even some physical symptoms, so be aware of that. So start by becoming aware of where and when you fall into people-pleasing mode and looking for external affirmations. In what scenarios will you have to say no to people? Start with the small instances first. Consider, where will you now hold back from validation-seeking behaviors? 4. Go within to seek your own counsel. Turn to yourself and find ways in which you can give yourself what you would normally turn to others for. But this is not easy to do when you've relied too much on others to be your mirror. So create practices that help you to rewire your brain to eventually be able to do this with much more ease. I found that just 20 minutes of uninterrupted writing, free flow, first thing in my journal has really helped me to get clarity. It also helped me to get out of the way of my rational mind and to connect to my higher self within, to let that consciousness stream through my writing, uncensored. I can tell you, just daily writing, free flow in my journal, totally transformed my own relationship with myself and eventually with my environment and the people in it. 5. Develop practices that help you to be at peace with yourself. Explore meditation techniques and find one that works really well for you. A 2011 study by Harvard and the Bender Institute for Neuroimaging in Germany found that just 8 weeks of mindful meditation could physically change your brain. They found that just 8 weeks increased grey matter in the areas of the brain where decision-making, empathy, and emotional regulation take place. Meditation can actually help you to set better boundaries and make decisions that reflect the real you. As a lifelong practicing yogi and a teacher, I would always highly recommend that you practice yoga, or if not, then some other form of exercise to get those happy hormones that help you to relax and lower your stress and anxiety levels. Hormones such as gamma-aminobutyric acid, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and so on. 6. Trust yourself. Trust your gut. Trust in your brilliance. Get it to the marrow of your bones that other people's approval and your value and happiness have nothing to do with each other. The more you trust yourself, the better choices you will make and the more satisfying life will be. 7. Become self-sufficient with a capital S. Some of the practices that I've mentioned cultivate a real connection with that part of you, your consciousness that exists beyond your mind, your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. The part of you that is Atman. Bring your relationship with that part of you to the center of your life. What happens then is that you have an amazing sense of feeling at one with yourself. To conclude, I'd like to share how one of my most favorite philosophers, Osho, talked about Atman, that vast unseen part of you. He said, in this world, only consciousness is yours. The word Atman means that which is your own, regardless of how much the rest may appear to be as your own. It is alien. All of that which you otherwise claim as yours, friends, loved ones, wealth, fame, high position, great empire, etc., it's all deception, because one day death will snatch it away from you. So death is the criterion for determining who is your own and who is a stranger. That which death can separate from you, know that it didn't belong to you, and that which it can't was indeed your own. I hope you've got value from this video, and if you've enjoyed it, do like it and share it. And you might also like another video called 4 Tips to Stop Being Hurt by People You Love, and another one called How to Turn Your Pain into Power. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do go ahead and subscribe, and do download some free gifts from my website, smitajoshi.com. I will see you in the next video.